You are now listening to the Pelicans post-game report. Flash report.
For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican post-game report. Shout out to the fan. Appreciate y'all for checking in with PPR on this installment of PPR. Man, listen, this is what we got right now as the Southwest just got a little tougher. The Houston Rockets pulled off a big trade to land Kevin Durant into the Southwest. Let's get a little audio here.
Teams that were in the KD sweepstakes. Why did the Suns go with the Rockets offer?
Kevin, over the last 24 hours, Miami and Houston were competing against each other to see who would have the best package for Kevin Durant at the end of the day. And what that showed is that at the trade deadline, Kevin Durant was blindsided when he was included in any type of trade talk. But now he was in the driver's seat. He had a voice in this. Him and his business manager and partner, Rich Kleiman, worked with the Suns on his potential destinations. And the Heat made offers, but they never included a full package that had Nikola Jovic, Haywood Highsmith, Jaime Jaquez, and the draft assets necessary, and they wouldn't put Khalil Ware in. And so from the Rockets' perspective, they gave up a 23-year-old prolific scoring guard, as well as a 3-and-D player that fit the Suns' grit and toughness that they want moving forward. But make no mistake, for the Rockets, this is a win-now move around the league. Everyone knows it. This is something that gives them a number one option and allows them to really take a step in the playoffs potentially next season.
Indeed, man. This is a move to get better and get faster. The Rockets are not playing, man. Like you heard Sham says, they gave up Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks. So Green is one of the biggest offensive weapons at the guard position. Dillon Brooks, a defensive stopper, and this year's 10th overall selection and 5 second-round picks they gave up to secure Kevin Durant in a move that they're looking to win right now. So yes, indeed, this is one of these situations where we see the Southwest is vastly becoming the division of difficulty, man. With a lot of the moves we've seen, when Wembanyama ended up in the Southwest, we've seen what they pulled off with Foxy and all this other stuff. The San Antonio Spurs are trying to rev up and be contenders as quick as possible. You've seen Dallas get rid of Luka Doncic and ended up being given the first round draft pick by a crooked lottery system where they'll end up picking up Cooper Flagg, guide them with Jason Kidd, their commitment to Jason Kidd staying with Dallas. So it really is rampant. Of course, we see Memphis pulled off the trade. They sent, Desmond Bain to Orlando for KCP and the point guard that looked like DC. So, I mean, we have a lot of stuff going on in the Southwest. The Pelicans ultimately did, add an extra first round pick. So they have the 7th and the 23rd pick in this upcoming draft next week. But, the Rockets, man, you see what they got, a potential depth chart unofficial. You can see Sengun, Durant, Amin Thompson. You see Fred VanVleet, Reed Shepard. They still have Cam Whitmore, Jabari Smith still there, Steven Adams. So they have a very interesting team, to say the least. And all this does this put pressure on the Pelicans to compete and try to be relevant? Well, let's kind of look at that. Shout out to the Pelican Debrief. Did a wonderful job on this article, just basically allowing us to get a view on just how more difficult the Southwest is getting now. And that's what we were saying about when Joe Dumars came into the building. You got to get rid of Willie Green to give your team an opportunity to win right now. The Pelicans, in my opinion, are in a win now scenario. We got to win right now. We got these young players right now that's realized we have to win right now. And Willie Green, we'll see if he can carry the day. We already know, a large degree of what we've seen over the last year and maybe the year before that, but it's still up for discussion among the faithful. This is terrible for the Pelicans. As Lambert lays out, Durant is officially no longer a Sun, and it spells disaster for the Pelicans. Why? The Phoenix Suns, we talked about the trade already. With Durant now being traded to the Rockets, the Southwest Division only gets harder for the Pelicans. First, the Mavericks land the number 1 pick. Okay, that's bad, but at least whoever they draft will need time to develop. Then the Spurs got the number 2 and paired it with De'Aaron Fox. That's done. And when it looked like the Pelicans might catch a break, the Grizzlies sent Desmond Bain to Orlando. Kevin Durant gets traded to Houston. It feels like a nightmare stretch for the Pels. Not only do they have to see Victor Wembanyama 4 times a year, but they have to see Anthony Davis and Cooper Flagg 4 times. And now Kevin Durant 4 times a year with a team that was second seed out West last season. If you thought the Rockets were a problem last year, they're now even a bigger one today. New Orleans has had their fair share of injuries, and it was awful because of them, but the Rockets easily swept the season series last season with an average of 25, making the Rockets coming into 25-26 season a scary thought. However, now that adding Durant and not losing Fred VanVleet or Sengun or Thompson or Eason or Jabari Smith, that would seem to be a good move for them. Houston adding NBA's 5th best defensive rating this past season. Now is adding his greatest pure scorer of all time. We are 36 years old, coming off a season where he averaged just shy of 27 points a game. It seemed Houston was missing that go-to guy in the clutch. Now they arguably had one of the best go-to guys in the clutch, and Kevin Durant. The trade makes the Rockets one of the most complete teams I see in the NBA. While that is already a scary thought for most teams, it's even scarier when you have to see 4 times a year, especially when you're already going to see the now improved Spurs, Cooper Flag AD-led Dallas club. Southwest Division might be the toughest in the league unless New Orleans makes a bold move soon. They risk falling out of the playoffs conversation entirely, or worse, being forced to start from scratch. So what are your thought process? That's one way to look at it. Also, to kind of look at it this way, from the people on the other side of the spectrum. Okay, they gave up Jalen Green, excellent scorer. You gave up one of their best defensive players in Dillon Brooks. This year, first round draft pick for a 36-year-old player, been dealing with some injuries. That's a gamble for the Houston Rockets, right? It's a big gamble. Giving up a guy like Kevin Durant, missing a lot of injury time. Would that be a smart usage of the time to surrender a young, really good scorer like Green, Dillon Brooks, a really solid defensive stopper, a top 10 first-round draft pick, and 5 second-round picks? To hell with the 5 second-round picks. That's a lot within itself to talk about. So that's 2 different sides of the thought process, the conversation. Which side do you guys fall on? Do you think that this could be a big deal for the Pelicans or not? Well, like I said, the only really solid move we've seen the Pelicans have made thus far is they traded for an extra first-round draft pick. Thoughts around the league is that ultimately the Pelicans will take that pick, those 2 picks, and maybe trade up into the draft to go get a player. We heard Philadelphia, that Ace Bailey rumblings and rumors about the Pelicans are interested in Ace Bailey. Whether that's true or not, we heard another report conflicting with that, an attempt to kind of debunk that original report. Pelicans are not all that intrigued by Bailey. If it's true or not, we won't know until we get closer. And when we get the draft and see who they really go with. The Philadelphia 76ers are rumored to be looking to move up to the number 2 position for a player that they covet. Or is this a smokescreen? We talked about this in the previous post-game report, where is this just a ploy by the Pelicans to let out a little smoke to cover things up while they go for a player that they really want? Or, we'll see how it all goes, whether they go for an established veteran or do they attempt to trade up, or they trade back in the draft. That's another thought process. We'll see. But why that is happening, other teams in the Southwest Division, namely, are making big plays and bringing big time players to this division. And it's fastly becoming one of the most difficult in all of professional NBA. So in the professional basketball world. So with that being said, we on the cusp of the final game of the finals. Who do you guys have in OKC and the Pacers? And really, the Pelicans should be up there with the OKCs, the Timberwolves of the world. But let's see. Next week will be a big move for Willie. Not for Willie, but for Joe Dumars, with Bryson Graham headed to Atlanta. He's out there with the Hawks now. There's no reports about them adding a new general manager. We're thinking that Troy Weaver just will fill in that position. He did that in Detroit. So that would just basically be a position that he assumes and fall into that role, him and Joe Dumars, looking to try to build or put together a team that's more stable and more difficult going into it's going to be a real interesting season for the faithful. So with that being said, y'all tell me how y'all feel. Hit the comment section up. Put your comments below. Let me know. Is this something the Pelicans need to be concerned about or not? Put it in the comment section. Let me know how you guys feel. With that being said, also hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, light it up. And listen, I'll be back with another one from PPR. With that being said, I'm out. Much love, man. Appreciate y'all on PPR, man. Hit that comment section up and let me know what you think. Peace. Go Pels.
Subscribe now and stay up to date for all things New Orleans Pelicans.